Okay, now we're going to make a couple of changes, and then I'm going to walk you through some of the complications of actually saving those changes so that you can have them again when you reopen the file. So we're looking at my downloads folder. We're going to go in Ferrosur again. I double click on FSRR to launch the Google Earth Pro viewer and open Ferrosur file in that viewer. Now, this happens because actually I already had the software open and the file loaded from last time. We're going to reload because I made some changes, and now I'm going to right-click. Ferromex we're going to leave. Text, you know what? We're going to leave all that stuff. I'm just going to turn off. We're going to turn off the text file. Whoops. And this happens for a complicated reason related to my software that I'm using to make these videos. Anyway, so because of that, so ignore that. That is not something that'll happen to you unless you're using this thing right here to make videos. So because of that, we're gonna delete that. Right click, delete, and so now we have a Ferrosur and Ferromex file open. Gonna make some changes quick. We're gonna expand the folder structure of Ferrosur, and I'm gonna make it so that tracks that are yard tracks and crossovers and other tracks are gonna become blue. So I selected the folder that has all the other tracks, and I'm going to make them that color blue, and we'll do that to the crossovers. There's the same blue, and the sidings. So what we have, when I'm done making those changes, let's zoom in close. What we have is a situation where the main tracks are one color, which kind of highlights them, and all the other tracks, yard tracks, sidings, etc., are this different color so that you can see very quickly the differences. And for some reason, some hypothetical reason, I've decided that's useful. So now you want to save those changes. So here I'm going to double click on the folder so that the file, so that we zoom to the extents of the file, and right click and choose save place as, and let's go in here. Whoops, let's go to downloads, and I'm just going to go ahead and save the file. Then we're going to close this and discard all the stuff that's in temporary places. So there it is right there. You know what? Actually, let's save that. So now when we relaunch the software, those files are going to be open, and they're going to be saved in the My Places area. So remember, it's this file right here. Now I'm gonna double click to launch that file, and we're going to see something. We're going to take a look carefully at something that happens here. And you need to know about this. It's unfortunate. I don't want to take time talking about this, but we have to, because you're going to run into issues if you try to save your work and you don't understand this quirk, or it's almost a bug, this quirk of the software. So there's all the sidings, etc., colored blue, so you can, I guess, see them in a highlighted way. There's two folders here. I am going to, you notice there's a folder FSRR 20200424, and then there's another folder outside that, or around that folder, and this folder's included as the contents of this folder. I'm gonna show you how this is generated. We're gonna right click and choose Vias Activas, and I'm going to right click and choose save place as. So now I'm going to make a file that has the contents, just that material right there, just the main tracks. And remember, we're not seeing any change because I've still got some open in My Places. I just turned them off. Okay, so we now just made a file by right-clicking and choosing Save Place As. I just made a file in my Downloads folder called Vias Activas, and it has just the main tracks. It does not have all this other stuff because when I right-clicked and executed the command, that's what was selected. So the command acted on the selected stuff. So now I'm going to right-click, delete everything out of here. Let's just get rid of all this junk. So everything's gone from my places, and we're going to get rid of everything from temporary places and close the software. I'm going to show you something. There is the file I just made, 5:26 at 9:05 a.m. I'm gonna. So we just made this file. Let's open this quickly and see what that stuff actually is. Confirm that it's actually what we expected. Okay, there it is. Opening. And that is Vias Activas. So that the inactive tracks, for example, the one down here, this was, I think, Linea GF, Golf Foxtrot, I believe. That is not there. And a couple others. This is VK, Victor Kilo. That is not there. So this is, in fact, just the active tracks. So what happened, you'll remember I right-clicked on this folder and saved. And now when we reopen the thing that we had saved, you'll notice the system generated this other folder outside. We didn't make this. The system, Windows or Google Earth Pro or some combination of those two softwares apparently generated this folder outside this one. This is actually a zip file, KMZ, keyhole markup zip is what this means. This is a zip file that includes all the contents of this folder zipped up. Why do you need to know that? And what does that mean to you if you're saving stuff? Well, here, let's show you. Let's delete this. And I'm gonna say I saved this, and now I'm going to use the Windows utility. I'm looking in my downloads folder, and I just selected, and I'm going to rename this file, and I'm going to rename it, you know, May 26. To help me keep track of what this stuff is. So now I've got my rename file, and I'm going to double click and open, and here's where you can get into trouble if you're not aware of this feature of the software, which I would call almost a bug. It's certainly a personality quirk. You'll notice now I double clicked on a file that was called Vias Activas May 26. I renamed that in Windows. You notice, however, when it opens in Google Earth Pro apparently does not recognize or honor the Windows system renaming. It's got the name that we named it in Google Earth Pro. That's important if you want so if you want to rename a file and you want it to stick, you've got to open it in Google Earth Pro and do it in here by right-clicking and selecting the properties. That's a big deal because if now you save this, you'll notice I right-clicked and chose Save As, and I am now saving as a different name than the file that I thought I opened. That's a big deal because if you have another file called Vias Activas with the same name in this folder, it's going to overwrite that file, and if you're not paying attention, you just potentially had like data loss. So work that you did might be gone because you didn't realize that this thing renames stuff without your knowledge or interaction or permission. Really, you know, it just does it. Effectively, it changes the name of the thing that you thought you were working with. The other thing is you need to, if you're going to rename stuff, you really need to rename. Google Earth Pro will, the rules are a little complicated, but just trust me, you need to rename this folder, rename, and then here I'm going to Control A, Control Copy. You need that name and this name to really be the same. We're going to Control V. Now you notice it doesn't put the file extension there for you, so you need to put that there manually, .kmz. But you'll notice this element right there, whoops, that element right there is now the same as the name of this folder. So those two are the same. If they are not the same, you're going to get into, there are some situations where you're going to get into some complications, trust me. And again, what might happen is you might do edits or work and invest a lot of time, and you can end up with data loss if you're not aware that system is not necessarily honoring your naming choices for those reasons, the two reasons I just told you. This and this need to be the same. And Windows, renaming stuff in Windows, Google Earth Pro will not honor that, will not recognize that. So that's it. Thanks.